Hey everybody. Hi. It's me, Ashley Brooke. So I wanted to make this video real fast because I had someone messaging me on Facebook, and they were like, "Oh, I saw that video that you made about I got proof I'm blessed, and that you say that that you not speaking for so many years was God guiding you." So, like, what do you mean by that? And I was like, okay, well, I'll make you a video and I'll explain it to you. So, I'm just gonna give you guys a little rundown real fast. So, for those of you guys who don't know, I'm autistic. I was nonverbal till I was 7, and then I stopped talking again from ages 10 to 11. And I still have sensory issues today. I have many challenges today. If I'm not sitting down in a chair, like sitting on my hands usually, or talking a lot with my hands, I am very bouncing around. I have trouble controlling my body a little bit. I also have seizures caused by repetitive sounds. I didn't talk for a lot of my youth. And I feel that it was God. I was able to hear God, and everyone's like, "What do you mean? Are you schizophrenic?" And I was like, "No, not like that. I don't mean like that." In the Bible it says that God talks through people, through the written word. God talks through signs and miracles, consequences, epiphanies, coincidences, nationwide, which would be like social media, So God talks through all living, So because I was nonverbal and not a lot of people would talk to me because I didn't talk back, I paid attention a lot to the facts, the clues, if you will. So, like a little detective, I would just put together all the clues and all the information. And so I'm going to tell you guys a little story as an example. So when I was a child, I grew up very poor. I grew up in poverty, major poverty. So we didn't have a lot of money. I remember not even eating for a week. All we had was powdered milk. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but powdered milk, yeah. So one time my mom had some monies for groceries, so I went with my mom to the store, and I wanted a candy, and I took a candy. Okay, now let me tell you, a couple of days before that, I had made this very awesome necklace. I used to like to make beaded jewelry because I like sequential patterns. So I had this cool beaded with vintage beads that I collected from broken necklaces and beads and stuff from my grandmother, and I really liked it. I threaded it very well. And it was very strong, mind you. Okay, I just made it a couple of days ago, too. So, as I'm walking out of that store, the beam of that store, the door exit, my necklace, it bust, okay? And I was like, oh my God, I just knew that happened because I had taken that. I felt the guilt, I felt like that was God showing me, you don't take things, because no one ever taught me things because they thought I wasn't understanding. But God still taught me. It was crazy. And he taught me through things like that. And so, okay, let me tell you, you can say, oh, that was just a coincidence. But remember, I said God speaks through coincidences too. Okay? So, a couple years passed, and we're able to, I guess my parents got it a little bit more together, and my dad was still taking off on drug binges and stuff like that. So he came back, and someone had given him a puppy. He gave it to me, trying to butter me up so I can forgive him, right? And so I had the puppy, and he gave me $100, and he told me I can go buy the dog what it needs, right? So I go with my mom again to the store before we go to the pet store. And I wanted a candy, but see, I'm very literal. That money, my dad told me, that's for the dog. Okay? So I didn't want to spend my dog's money. It wasn't my money. It was the dog's money. That's what I'm thinking in my head. It's not my money. I don't have any money. So I took another, something small. I think it was a candy or something, a toy candy, the little combination toy candy. I took something else, even though I had $100 in my pocket. As soon as I left that store, guess what? I lose the $100. $100 gone. Okay? And I was like, oh my God, this is because I took that, And I couldn't help but realize, and that was the last time I ever stole in my life, you guys. Because I feel that God was teaching me that you don't steal. And that's one example. See, autistic people, we don't, like I said, we don't speak, a lot of times, or we don't communicate very well to where we're able to like talk things out with people. So I paid attention a lot to the facts, details of what happened, the clues, and so for most of my life, I've just sort of like got by understanding, the facts, like putting the cards on the table, kind of. So I took that as God's teaching me not to take anything. So I believe to this day that whenever you take something, you're gonna lose, equal or more from what you took, and I mean, and you can even explain that in science, like with psychology. If you do something bad, it creates a negative stimulation, and it's going to end with causing either health problems or affecting your cognitive ability, which would be like, would result in like cognitive errors in your judgment, and then you wind up in a situation where you end up having to, it's like someone that goes and steals and then winds up thinking that they're going to have all this money, and then they end up going in jail, and they got to pay the lawyer even like 3 times as much as what they took just to get out of that situation, so they didn't win. Matter of fact, it caused them more harm than ever. And so that's what I meant by God talks to me. And by me not talking and me being like going through like all of this, like, you see, like, for example, like I went through a lot of trauma growing up. And at first I thought God was punishing me. I was like, why am I being punished? Like, I'm a little girl. There's no God, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're like, give me the proof. Like, I want proof. Like, I don't believe that there's a God, because what kind of God would let a little girl that can't talk, like, be like brought up in this dysfunction and this type of abuse? And then like the life went by. And then I remember praying all growing up. I was praying like that God would restore my family, right? Even when I was nonverbal, I would be praying that God would restore my family, and he never did. And I was like, hey, there's no God. I prayed all the time, okay? And I would pray that God would restore my family, that God would that would give me a family that would love me, like forever. And like as a little girl, I remember expressing like loves me so much, Well, I have 2 children today that will love me forever. And the way that my children adore me is, oh my God, I'm smitten, okay? I'm in love with my children, I swear. It's so cute. And yes, you can be in love with your children. But your mind out of the gutter. I mean, like, it's unconditional love. That's like some God love, And I wouldn't be able to navigate, advocate, and be this strong and do it with grace and with a smile on my face if I didn't go through all of these difficult situations growing up. I wouldn't be able to help my children overcome their milestones if I didn't be forced into having to deal with mine at such a young age, with my challenges. And so I feel that God was teaching me throughout my entire life. He was the coach, He was, the sergeant, I'm a soldier. And I honestly believe that God, because I didn't speak, allowed me to, like, I was able to really take in and observe people and see how they treated me, how it felt to be mistreated, and how and taught me how to appreciate better. So now that I have, it's like, it doesn't matter what I have in my life. I feel blessed and I feel success, okay? Because it's like quality of character. Like, everything else is vanity, it's like grasping for the wind. All these tangible things, all these like possessions, they're not there forever. They're gone tomorrow. All that you're left with is yourself, and the ones that love you, and today I have that unconditional love. I have my family. I was expecting it in a different way, like my actual immediate, like my parents have a family, but I got it. I have it now. I have my own family, and I just feel really blessed, and God does talk through me and to me. And I just listen, and I think it's because I'm autistic. I feel like we're able to hear God more because we pay attention